G'day everyone, thanks for joining tonight's very last webinar for the Accelerate program. Can you believe you signed up for this way back when and have now been through a whole 3 months or 12 weeks of learning, hopefully lots and lots of great stuff that is going to help you to help your clients or to apply to your very own business. I'm really keen to touch base with you tonight at this end part and hear just what the program has been for you and what you have learned and what you are putting into place or what you have planned post this, with this being the last session. As I mentioned in Facebook, if anyone saw it, I'm actually in Noosa tonight and streaming this from a hotel room, so I hope the coverage is okay. Let me know if it drops out. I am on my phone and I've tested it and it seems to be going fine. We may keep it a little bit shorter because I do have an event to pop off to, but I do want to make sure you feel like you've been well loved in our very last session as well. So we'll have a quick look at advanced analytics. So there's a fantastic lesson there with lots, and I'm pointing you off to a lot of references as I always do. So for those of you who really want to delve into this, you can, or if you just want to know where to come back to it later, you can do that as well. So let's get on with the lesson. You know me, it's Yvette taking it, very last lesson, so we'll go on. I think at this point, the last lesson, it's really important that we recap on where we started in this journey. And if you remember way back to lesson 1, if you're getting ready to run a digital marketing campaign or indeed any kind of marketing campaign, you really need to be clear on the vision of the organisation and what they do, if that's yours or whoever you're running it for, because it all needs to align back to that. You need to work out the strategy of how you're going to do it. You need to work out what digital assets there are, and that should actually mean a whole lot more to you than it used to. You now know that there's all these assets you can have. You can have Facebook communities, you can have a website, you can have a great database on MailChimp and so on. So you need to see what state they're all in before you get started, and maybe the goal of the marketing campaign is to build those assets in some way, get more traffic to the website, get more names on the database, and more. You need to be super clear on your target market. I can't bang on about that enough. As you've seen, and we've brought back in many, many lessons, first, consider your objectives, consider your target market. We keep saying that, but it's so, so important. So we really do need to bang on about it. And then what's the actual campaign goals and objectives? And, that might be one thing, or it might be 2 or 3 things, but it shouldn't be a whole lot more than that. If you're lucky, you'll get some other byproducts, which are bonuses, but you shouldn't be trying to, do this and that and solve every problem of the organization in your digital marketing campaign. It should be quite a specific kind of task. So to give you an example, recently working with our client Digital Careers, we did a campaign for Bebrus. Now, Bebrus is a program, it's targeting at teachers, and it's getting them to get involved in computational thinking with children aged 7 to 12. So the whole objective of the campaign is to get them aware of it, number 1. Number 2, signing up to actually do it. And all of our objectives and our metrics come back to that. Sure, we got some byproducts of some extra likes on Facebook and all of the rest of it, but they're byproducts. They're not the key thing we were shooting for on that particular campaign. We're really wanting the regos, so that's what we measure ourselves on. In terms of digital analytics, it is a lot about measurement. As you can see on the screen, if you've never heard of the expression, it's a combination of web analytics, but also marketing campaign measurements, can be data visualization and social media metrics, and it's basically a key part of overall data analysis that needs to be performed as part of any digital marketing campaign. The analytics piece or the analysis is just as important as the planning and the execution. If you don't actually take a look back or even throughout the campaign of how things are performing and tweak it to make it better, you can sometimes take derailing trains and get them back on the tracks if it is not going how you want it, and that can happen. And post that to understand the market better. Again, back to that Digital Careers example, we've learned a whole lot through each and every campaign we've run with them. We've now got a really, really good idea of who their market is. We know their teachers, funnily enough, we know they're 45 to 54, so we've niched it down to that. We know they're female, and we know they're in big cities. So that helps us a whole lot for future targeting, and sometimes people feel a little bit pigeonholed when you talk about those sort of specifics, but it's actually a magic thing when you can get to that and know your market well enough to know exactly who they are and how and where to find them. It makes your marketing so much more effective, and it makes your marketing dollars go a whole lot further. So the importance of measuring your campaign, there's a few different sort of things you can put in place to actually track and measure. Now, there's a number of these mentioned in this week's lesson, which I encourage you to look at. The first one is you must have Google Analytics successfully configured on your website. If you have done the Get Up to Speed program, you would have heard me bang on about that, and I would have mentioned this at the start of this particular program as well. But if you don't have that, if you haven't checked if it's working, if you're not sure, get it checked out. You must have it working before you start your campaign. Next up, you need to have goals because they really do track conversions. Goals can be for any number of things, but you basically need to work out what is it we're trying to track, and is it number of people who hit the contact page, number of people who hit the specific, like the Bebris page, if that was the campaign, number of people who actually completed the Bebris registration. Well, these are all different goals. And with goals and analytics, you can actually assign different values. You may, for instance, say, if a person ends up on my database as a result of this campaign, that's worth $1 to me. Or you might say if they actually register for this whole program, that's worth $50 to me. And it's not uncommon to have, acquisition prices of $30 and $40 and $50, which if you look at traditional marketing, it certainly costs that and a whole lot more. But you can sometimes squeeze that down, sometimes into low double figures or single double figures with a good online campaign. But look, we don't look at these in this program. You should do the Get Up to Speed program. I know some of you have. And if all of this you're thinking, oh, I don't really know that stuff, I really encourage you to actually purchase that lesson. We're going to be loading up a whole lot of individual modules straight after this program. So you have the chance to just purchase just individual lessons that you might like to get a bit more knowledge on. And they'll come with the PDF information and the webinar as well. The other one is if you're selling items on your website or tracking any kind of transactional dollar value stuff like events, sales and things, you should have the e-commerce conversion tracking in place and successfully configured as well. It can be a good idea to actually run a dummy sale or even a real one. If it's yours, it's going to end up back in your bank. If it's a client's, ask them for a reimbursement, tell them you need to do that, just to make sure that it is tracking before you get started. This stuff I might mention isn't easy. You may or may not be able to do it yourself. You may or may not need to get a tech. There's only specialist people in our team who do the configuration stuff, and they've done quite a lot of training. So if tonight's quite advanced for you, don't worry about that. The key is that you understand the principles and that you need to get this stuff in place. The fourth thing is Facebook conversion tracking, and I'm curious to know, hands up if you are planning Facebook advertising as part of your digital marketing campaign or are planning on doing it for clients or just want to be able to measure that stuff. Okay, Shannon's got her hand up and Brian. Cool. Well then, you guys definitely need to know about Facebook conversion tracking. I don't know, are you doing it already? Hands up if you already have it in place and you feel like you're across it. Brian does. Cool. Shannon hasn't got a hand up. That's cool. We'll recap on this. Look, I'll give you a quick live demo, and I'm by no means an expert on this. Like I said, this is getting quite advanced. I'm going to give you an overview. I'm going to point you in the direction of specialist stuff. If you ask these questions in the Facebook group, if you want to ask technical, there are certainly people within there that can answer these for you. But essentially, an advertiser or you would run a campaign on Facebook. It says custom audiences there, but it really can be any kind of campaign on Facebook, and we need to put that tracking code on a website, which is then going to send encrypted transactional data. So we're going to track it, and then we'll be able to report on how that lifts the sales and how that improves things. So let's just, here's another one. This is actually a good one to take you through before I show you. Step one is basically you create the pixel. What's really good news is you used to have to create two different types of pixels for tracking different transactions. These days there's one, which makes things a lot easier. Next up, you install it and check that it's working. I'd advise you to do this well in advance of the campaign because you need that time to check it's working. We have been in the situation where we've implemented it, started the campaign, worked out a day or two later, it's not working and haven't got the full view. Step 3, you need to add your pixel to an ad and then check your ad success. And for more information, I did include a link to the actual help bit, and hopefully you find this program really helpful. I've cut through all the stuff and I'm just giving you the links and stuff you really need to know to do this stuff. So let's hop out and we'll go on over to Facebook, which I've got up ready for me. And no, I don't actually. I thought I did. I'll pull it up now. Got lots of other windows ready for you guys. Okay, here we go. And I'm going into my business manager, which is where I manage our ads and all of our client ads as well for Facebook. Must say I'm really loving Facebook ads this year, having a lot of fun with it. Right, we go down to an ad set. So for instance, what's one I could track? TCC is the Creative Collective. Let's have a look at our conversion tracking pixels. Okay. I'm going to go to Tools. I'm going to go to Pixels. Hopefully it's not too much of a lag and you're following me. And it's as simple as this, big green button, create a pixel. So create and install your pixel, which we're doing now, create the custom audience, and then remarket to people who go on your site. So you can use these pixels for transactions, conversion tracking, optimization, and remarketing. So remarketing, just to be clear, is where you put the pixels on your site and you say, hey, anyone who actually goes on my site, show my ad to those people. So if you've ever had that happen where you've been browsing on a website, let's say an online clothing store, and then you jump onto Facebook and suddenly the ad's there and you've gone, how do they do that? This is exactly how they do that. And then we can track it all. That's the most exciting thing. So here I go. I'm going to just get the TCC pixel and I can give it another name if I want. And then I agree to it, of course, and I create the pixel. Now I can view it and install it myself or email it to someone. So if I don't, I can't do this stuff, I don't know how to access that part of my website, I simply email it to my clever web developer. Or I grab the copy. I wanted to go back to that. Let's go back. Tools, pixels. Okay, just go confirm. Sorry about the music in the background. There's literally a party happening. So I could track the checkouts or I can track any of these key actions on the site. Create the pixel. I'll show you the other option. So I can also view the pixel code and I grab all this text. Now, a lot like, what do you call it, Google Analytics, installing it is as simple as going to the page template of your site or the header area of your site and post it between the head and the end head. So it's not that hard, and you could give it a go. It depends on how your site's configured. If it's all scary, then don't worry about it and get a developer to do it for you. Okay, moving on. Now, as you're probably hearing, if you're going to set up Google Analytics and goals and conversion tracking, and then Facebook, and there could be others as well, you'll quickly end up with a lot of different tracking codes on your site. Now, this can make it bloated, it can make it slow, and it can also make it confusing. There have been cases where pixels start conflicting with one another, which is not good. That's where a thing called Google Tag Manager comes in, which I could say in the last, year has become a really big deal in the industry. So I'm not going to go into that right now, but what I will do is just say it's pretty easy to find it. And I've led you to Tag Manager. I've led you some really good little videos on the lesson this week, but if you simply search Google Tag Manager, go to the official site, there's lots of support things. So you have to set up all these others first. You have to set up your Facebook conversion pixels and your Google and all of that. What's really good is you then add it into here and you've got the one tag that you put into the site, which just kind of cleans it up and helps you manage it and update it from the one place. I hope that makes sense. I'm not going to go into it because it's quite in depth. We've run whole webinars on just Google Tag Manager, and maybe that's something we could share with you as well in the future. So knowing that you've got all these different mechanisms to track a campaign, you've then actually, you know what, I'm going to come back to the slide. It just doesn't feel like the right flow to me to talk about it right now. Yeah, I'm going to talk about this, so I'm going to come back to the measurement stuff. Next thing I want to talk to you about is the custom dashboards and reports on Google. So we want to start looking at some of the more advanced features of Google, because in the Get Up to Speed program in the very last lesson, we looked at Google Analytics and we looked at some of the common kinds of statistics you might measure if you were analyzing just your general web activity, not necessarily a specific digital campaign. Let's now take a look at some specifics. So I'm here, I'm almost logged in. Let's log into the Creative Collective one I know quite well. Wow, we're getting really yahoo outside. I hope you don't mind that background music. Okay, so the first thing is the first thing you arrive to, it'll look like this if you don't customize it. But I want you to know that you can actually go to add to dashboard, and you can pull up and add to that whatever's important to you. So I can go new dashboard, and what's important to me is, I don't know, maybe social activity. And then I can, I need to pick one, sorry. So I could say I want to know more about sessions, and I can add it to my dashboard. So there we go. I've now got that little widget on there as well. And I can add more widgets. So I can call it whatever I want, and I can say, that's really important to me as well. So you go through adding different ones as they're important. So here you can see a lot of our goals. I could add all my different goals on the front page. When I log into Google Analytics each time, I can actually see exactly what's performing and what's not. That's one option. There's also custom variables here. And I could also go about adding more or customizing these to whatever it is I want to know. So again, this is a bit in depth, and to be perfectly honest, I'm a bit rusty on it. I studied up this Christmas, and I really need to revisit again to give you a full in-depth view. And again, I'd need a whole hour to go into it, so I'm not going to go into it in a massive way. But you can see one custom prepared report we have got is showing here different BYO campaigns that we've run to see how many sessions it actually brought to our site and how long they hung around for, and the bounce rate and the goal completions as well. So you can see off this home-based business grant, there was actually one goal completion, which is kind of helpful to know. Another really key part of Google Analytics is understanding attribution. If you are trying to work with a client who's saying it didn't work, I didn't get a result, I would start having a conversation with them about attribution. I'm going to fast forward a couple of slides to give you the simple explanation, and then I'll go back. In a game of basketball, I don't know how familiar you are, but lots of people know the game. It's not just the person who gets the goal that's a bit of a star. It's also what they call assists, the people who pass to the person who gets the goal, and even the person who passes two passes back. They've all contributed towards that actual slam dunk, that goal happening. So same goes with attributions. And these are the different types of attributions that we like to measure if you want to get really technical with your client. And the last interaction and attribution at the top is the last touch point. So that would receive 100% of the credit in that case. So if the last person went on Facebook and then they bought something, that would be the last interaction attribution. There's also the last non-direct click. So it could be all direct traffic is ignored and 100% of the credit goes to the last channel. So it could be, say, email. So they didn't actually purchase off that, but it was the last one before they did that action. There's also the last AdWords click, which would only receive 100% of the credit for that. There's the first interaction too. So maybe they've never heard of your company, but they hear about it through paid search or an EDM or Facebook. In that case, it's still important. It might not have been where they actually transacted, but it was the first time they interacted with your company. So it's still important. In the linear attribution model, each touch point in the conversion path shares equal credit. So in that case, if you're going to set this up in your Google Analytics dashboards, you would say it's 25% for each. So if social media got some, paid search and so on, they all get kind of credited for it. And there's also the time decay. So as you can see there, the closest in time to the sale gets most of the credit. So for look, different companies and different campaigns measure attribution in different ways, is my point. Then on the screen is the terminology that they'll use with Google Analytics. Here's an example of a linear model where credit's given 20%, 20%, and then 40% to paid advertising because they find it more important to measure on that. So I'll just log out and go back to here. Again, I'm not the most absolute expert on this stuff, and okay, under conversions it's under attribution, so we can go to model comparison, but we have to set all of this up. So you can see here that there was a sale on our website of $13.94, and it was a referral from some kind of site, and I could delve into that some more. There was also a direct one for $6.97, and we could do more of these setting up. So here I've got last interaction. If I scroll down and go to first interaction, let's see how this changes. Okay, so I've got a Google organic is bringing in the majority of it, some direct. That's actually the same site. Main contacts email, one, marketingpromotion.org, don't even know what that is. One of our other sites that we created, top SEOs, didn't even know we're on there. So that's good. They're giving us some first interactions. So you can get a bit of an idea here, and it's worth looking at this stuff as my point for a digital marketing campaign to actually work out where some of the value come from, what were some of the channels that worked for you. Again, I won't go into this in too much more depth. I want to keep chuffing on, but hopefully that is all useful stuff for you. This one I do want to have a quick look at. Next up, I'm going to show you how to schedule a regular report in Google. So let's say you have worked out what's most important to you, what the client wants to know, and you agree on all of those metrics up front. Basically, Google can do a fair bit of the heavy lifting for you if you set it up well and you get to know it and love Google Analytics. So, and that would be free as well, of course. So here I am. One thing I can do is just go to the front or any kind of window. So if the client said, what we really want is more users to our website and we want them to spend more time, so it's all about awareness, let's say, I might choose to send them this window. I might first add some other widgets and change it up a little bit, how I've shown you. But once I was happy with it, I could go email, and here you go. I can say I'd like to send this to, this is my personal address, and I'd like to send Yvette the PDF version weekly or once, just now, or quarterly or monthly. But say for a 4-month campaign, I could say it's monthly on the first of the month. Always put a cover note because I get this. Hi there, here are your Google Analytics for the audience overview for the past month. Yvette, or sign off however you want, and I can hit send, and that's going to go every month. I can add to an existing email as well, so or I can go into another section that I deem important depending on what metrics we're measuring, and I can click on email and set up that one. So I could add this to, so you can see here I've only got a weekly one. I could add it to that report if I wanted to, and I can gradually build up a report. So that's pretty handy stuff. The other things you can use if you want to get really serious is, I'd say, tools that we use for analytics. I've listed some in this week's lesson. I've listed Agency Analytics, Ninja Cat. The two I'm going to show you tonight is Raven Tools and Going Up. Raven Tools we use now as an agency. Advanced Web Ranking we used to use, and it's pretty good. It's just one of our contractors liked Raven Tools better, so we moved over. Going Up is actually free. All the others cost. Some of them cost quite a lot. I actually haven't looked at Going Up for a long time. It's been around for ages, and I'm curious to see how good it is right now. So you have to add your email address to get started. Let's see if I can do this quickly. It's going to give you some insights into your analytics in a different kind of view, basically. Okay. I'm going to have to actually sign up. So in that case, I'm just going to leave you guys to have a look at that in your own time. But I do have Raven Tools open, and I do know the logins, and I can show you all around this one. Now, this is a paid tool. I might pull up the pricing while that loads. Okay, so you're starting at $99 a month, may or may not be in your budget, or $249 a month. You can have 4 users, unlimited marketing campaigns. We're actually on the $99, I think, and it does us okay. So here I am inside, and similar to what I've just showed you with Google Analytics capabilities, I can also build dashboards on the metrics that are most important to the client as predetermined at the start. But it does a bit more than that. It kind of brings together multiple avenues. So I've had a client ask me in Townsville last week. He said, we've got all the social media reporting to do now, the SEO, the Google Analytics. How do we bring all of this together and not have to do so much work? And I suggested Raven tools to them. So with this, clients get who are on any ongoing marketing with us get a monthly, or can be more regular, usually monthly, dashboard of all the metrics that matter to them. So at the moment I've got the Creative Collective up, but I could go to any one of our other clients. I can click into Google Analytics and it's got an API that's talking to my Google Analytics. So it's a bit of setup, but once it's done, it's pretty good. And I can see what's green, what's red, what's up, what's down across all metrics, which is pretty helpful. So at the moment it's measuring from today backwards. What others? There's so many things in here. I really do use the SEO one a lot for rankings. I love to know how the website is performing and if the keywords are going up or down. And if you blog a lot and do a lot of SEO activities, you can get these to go up, among other things. It's going to load all my words in a minute. Loading. Okay, here we go. So you can see our average position on Google across all of our keywords is gone up by 2, which is not good. We want it to be higher, like as in number 1, but it's 23. We get 4,273 Google clicks a month. We have 188,000 people see our name in the list of potential ones, and a Google click-through rate is 2.26, which is actually pretty good. And our analytics goal completions is 26 in a month. That conversion rate is not very good, and we could improve our stats here. So they're generally on the up. So I can actually do a little search on average position, and it'll tell me random what new words I've got, which words are down. Some aren't even relevant, but some are. So social media agency services has gone up to average position of 7. It's gone up 433 places. Wow, that's pretty awesome. Digital skills, we're now in position 7, gone up 323. So these are great results. This one, we're an average of 58.7. Not so good. We could do some work on that one. But hey, we're shooting for so many words, so it's not surprising really. So that's one thing you can measure. You can measure social, you can hook in your Facebook and all of that. And what's really probably the most important thing is once it's all set up though, you can send automated reports. So you can see how much our fans are growing and our reach. We can do reports and I can build a report. Really quite similar to how I did the Google Analytics one. So you can see these are scheduled or gone. So that's how we look really awesome to our clients without a heap of work. So you can see here on that campaign report, stuff we're tracking is AdWords because we're doing it, backlinks, competitors, emails, Google Analytics, etc., etc. Okay, we're just going to backtrack a tiny bit now to the stuff I said I think would be better to come back to. So when we started the program, I asked you to get clear on what your metrics were, and I also provided a digital template, which I'm going to have a look at. But essentially, the sorts of things most people are measuring and stuff falls under these is 1, financial metrics, how much money are you making, marketing, how much database you're growing, brand you're growing, etc. Conversions of those who actually come, how many are actually converting, really important. You would have heard that word a lot tonight. Web metrics, how many people are going on your site, and as you've seen, there's just a wealth of those on Google, and social metrics. So remember this template. I'm going to pull it up again. Here it is here. So you can download this. It's in your resources on the online portal, and there's a lot to it. There's overview, which we encourage you to start with, campaign goals and tracking, where you should have documented your goals, target personas and messaging, which you should do work on. I've done this in a logical order. Campaign assets, what are we starting with? Campaign timing, campaign budget, execution, social post, partners. There's so much on here. The one I want to have a real look at is campaign performance. So I could change these metrics a little bit to be more in line with what I was just talking about. But generally, these are actually maybe they're on there, you just can't see them. Yeah. Financial metrics. Now, I change these stats for every single client I work with. It just depends on what they're trying to achieve. But, it could be money made. So it could be top, like turnover might be the first thing. And you should also put stats from, oh, well, we get that from zero. You might also have a number of services. So let's say I sell X widgets. Let's track how many of those I've sold. And next day I sell Y widgets. Let's track how many of those I've sell. And then maybe at the bottom it's total. You may or may not want to track net profit and so on. It could be ticket sales. It could be anything. What are the financial metrics you're most interested in tracking as a result of this digital marketing campaign? Put them in this area. I'm going to refer back and get this more in line with this. Okay, next up, I'm going to get rid of all of this and customize it to suit me. I'm going to put marketing metrics, and I could say I'm really trying to generate inquiries here. Therefore, I'm most interested in the number of phone inquiries, number of email, number of contact us forms, number of request to quote forms. But, you really need to track where are these going to come from and who's going to be responsible for reporting on them. Because it's one thing to say, I want these stats, but let's be realistic here. If you're a small business owner or you're running a campaign, I hope you've built that into your budget. I can tell you that we do often use interns and things for putting these sort of stats together. That's a good option. Or we split them out across the load, or we even make the client do it and try and take accountability and responsibility for doing some of these, and some other clients do actually pay us to do these. So what are the marketing metrics that are important to you? I'd include database under marketing metrics, by the way, as well. Conversion metrics could be, let's say I was a service-based business and I was really trying to get quotes for my digital marketing campaign. It could be how many did I quote, how many quotes did I raise, how many accepted it, and therefore what's the conversion rate and what's the dollar value of that conversion as well. So they could be interesting ones to track. The social metrics I talked about, they would be further down here. And we might track, for instance, number of followers, number of following. This might be a Facebook one. I think that's all gone a bit weird, but you get the picture. Likes, YouTube, some of those you can customize them to suit you. So if you don't do YouTube, just go right ahead and highlight that and delete it out. But make sure you track it month on month, because maybe month 1 is 2, maybe month 2 is marginally better, and maybe month 3 things really kick off. And sometimes I'll warn you, clients will say, oh, it didn't work, it's such a waste of time, waste of money, I want to cancel my contract. But sometimes you have to say, look at this thing, look at this, look at this, look at this. Sure, the turnover is not there, but your database is growing exponentially, but your social media following is growing exponentially. So as I said, sometimes you can get interesting byproducts from campaigns that you didn't even expect. Here's the website ones down here, which you should also track as well as part of any given campaign. So look, at this point, if you haven't already done it, I really encourage you to download and work on this digital campaign template. I encourage you to customize it, and I encourage you to ask questions as on the Facebook group if you're not sure about how to complete it. And mentors would be another great one to go ahead and have a chat to about that stuff. If you want more resources for Google Analytics, because there really is a lot in there, I've provided a bunch of links on this week's lesson. And one I've just added at the bottom there that I didn't include, but I really should have, I've realized, is Google Analytics Academy. You can actually go ahead and sit certification. If you would even like to do it under the Creative Collective, we can help make that happen. We're always after people who are Google certified and have done the necessary training. So take a look at that too. We have had people do our Get Up to Speed program and go on to do a lot of these trainings, become certified and then become very, very hireable. I know we're always looking out for people who have those qualifications and certifications to hire, and you get invited to some pretty cool events as well. If you live on the Sunshine Coast, we're actually running an event with Google at the end of this month. Details are on the Creative Collective website on the training page, so feel free to have a look at that as well. And we've been there. So I want to basically wrap up now, and then we'll open it up for questions, and love to touch base and see where you're all at. It's essentially time to finalize your campaign now. I don't know where you're at. I don't know if you've held off and now you'll start mobilizing it, or if you've literally have been mobilizing bits and pieces or putting a bit of work in throughout the duration of the program. We would like to see evidence of your campaign in order to reward you with a certificate of completion. So we want screenshots, people, of your EDMs or printouts that you fax in or email in as scans, or Facebook imagery you created as a result of learning Canva, or video links. Like, there's so many options here. Send us as much as you can, but all in one package, all in one email, so we can evaluate you as an individual and all the cool stuff you created. And if you don't mind, we'd love to share these with the group in some cases as well, and just basically see what cool stuff you've created. We're going to give you just over a month, about 6 weeks, to put that together, and you can send it sooner if you want. The sooner you send it, the sooner we can send you a certificate of completion, and certainly by 31st of October we won't be accepting any more after that. But congratulations, guys. You have now officially completed the program content. I really hope you have looked at this week's lesson. If you haven't looked at it online, go back and look at some previous ones, and hopefully you've got a lot out of the program. So I might just pause there and check in with you, and we'll do the wrap up and where to from here in a moment. But there's a few of you on. Brian, I'm going to pick on you first and unmute you and just check in and see how you've been going with the program. Brian, are you there?
Yeah, sure.
So how have you found the program, Brian?
Yeah, look, really good. I'm just up to doing my MailChimp session at the moment, so, and just almost completed that. Yeah, just sort of fitting it in between other stuff because I'm sort of actively got clients.
Sure.
But it's really good. I'm going back all the time to the course and just refreshing my memory and then implementing new things.
Mm-hmm.
So I've just done some remarketing and stuff like that, so I'm a bit aware of that.
Awesome.
But yeah, it's really good. I've even gone back to the introduction a few times and probably gone through the whole thing at least 3 times up to this point.
Oh, what a great
as well.
You are, Brian.
Just and just yeah.
What's the biggest thing you've got out of it that you're most excited about for the future? What's the best stuff?
Yeah, I was struggling with the whole strategy thing, basically, just where to start, what programs to use. That's probably the biggest thing I've got. I'm just aware now of all the programs, where to start, and then just implement the strategy, I think, of it all. And I've designed a website for a customer. I wouldn't be able to do that if it wasn't for the session we had. So
Wow.
in the Google, the web tools and putting all that on. So it's been really good, great.
Fantastic, Brian. So you've really looked at it from a client perspective, haven't you? Mainly, like how you can help clients more.
Yeah, I had one client. Now I've got about 7, and going gangbusters. And yeah, it's great. I don't think I would have got to this point without it. So.
Oh, Brian, that's such a great testimonial. I'm loving it. I'm recording it. We'll be hitting you up for. We'll be hitting you.
I love Hootsuite, by the way.
Awesome. Changed the world, huh?
Yeah. I actually done a video, what is it? Just an instruction thing the other day with someone. And they went through it with me, and yeah, I've got it all set up now, and it's great.
It is. It's a game changer. Hey. Cool. Well, I should mention to all of you, we will be sending out a little link. We really do want your feedback, the good, the bad, and the ugly. This is the first time we've run this program, so we're not saying it hasn't got kinks. We want to know what those kinks are and iron them out. But Brian, I'm so pleased to hear what you've told me. That's just awesome. It's warming my heart because I must say it's been a lot of work, and we're really pleased to have got this off the ground. It's been in the making for a while. And it's just so awesome if it's done what it's meant to do, which it sounds like it has for you.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool. Let's check in with somebody else. Oh, I'm so excited about that little chat we had. Shannon, are you able to chat right now?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, Shannon. How have you been going with the program? What have you been putting into place with it?
I've probably fallen behind a little bit just with all the work I've got on at the moment, and so I've got a bit of catch up to do, but the bits I have done have been really great and really quite thorough, so I've been really impressed and learning a lot as I am going along. So I've got a bit of catch up to do, but I'm excited about the MailChimp and also Facebook ads is something that I'll be trialing out too.
So that's stuff that you hadn't done before, or had you dipped your toe in and this just gave you a lot more depth to it?
Yeah, no, I hadn't tried those before, so keen to get in there and give it a real good hot go, you know.
And Shannon, from memory, you can apply this for your work, but you were doing a startup as well, weren't you?
Yeah, so I've got my blog Eat Well Travel Often, so it's just sort of starting out, but you know, I'm building my audience there and just want to I guess make it more professional, and so you know, doing this course was, you know, helping equip me get the tools to really get that going and ramp it up to the next level.
Awesome. Well, don't forget us when you know, got your million followers and all of that. So keep in the process.
Yeah, watch this space.
Awesome, Shannon. Thanks for sharing that. I'm going to ask Mary now to say a few words. Mary, you are just on every webinar. You're on early. I think you're so committed. And you always like stuff on Facebook. We just love how engaged you are. Can you hear me, Mary?
I don't think so. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. I didn't have my headphones with me and I'm away in Albury and I didn't think this laptop would come through.
Oh, it's working great. I just praised you, Mary,
Oh,
for
that's
being
good.
so engaged throughout the program. I'd have to give the most engaged student to you award if we have had one.
Oh, okay.
Mary, you did the Get Up to Speed. You've done quite a few of our BY laptop sessions too. How have you found the Accelerate program?
Well, I found some areas really helpful. Some things, because I've done the bring your own laptop sessions, I have gone over them again, but that is good for me. I always need to refresh, and that's really great. I wanted to do an AdWords ad, which I haven't done yet, but that's something I intend to do. I had set up AdWords Express, but I really wanted to go in and try AdWords itself. Yeah, a lot of it is just for our own business. I'm sort of not advanced in other areas, but yeah, just for my own business, this is really great, and yeah, just to advance me more, and yeah, it's really good. Thank you.
You're welcome. So yeah, I'd say you would have picked up a whole lot more skills, and I love the fact that you know, went and created a video already. So I know you've already got one piece of evidence to submit. So send that and a whole lot more, and I can't wait to see what you come up with.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Thanks, Mary. I think we've got time for just one more. I might pick on you, Olivia, next. No, it's showing her mic is off. Is that the go, Olivia? We can't have a chat? Got some weird setup with the mic? Maybe. Looks like it to me. I'll mute you again. Okay. Thank you guys for those comments. I'm so happy, honestly. Worth all the late nights and the early mornings, and the thanks for your understanding too when I'm getting things up a little bit late just around my crazy life. But this week was especially late, which I do apologise for, but I got there in the end. It's not the end of the road. Look, with all of our programs, with any person you touch, with any of the companies that I run, I really like to think that we'll stay in contact for the journey. We have a lot to offer, and we're always evolving, and there's always new things on the go as well. Things you can continue with to keep going is, number one, complete your campaign template and submit it for evidence, or submit other evidence as I've explained. You could meet a mentor. This is the last week you can do it. One of the biggest things I see people do in these programs, and I've tried to let you know at the start of the program, I've tried to remind you, is that they leave it to the last minute and then the mentors aren't available anymore. They're only available while the course content's going on. So that's the last week. You better get onto it if you want to meet up with one. Hang out in the private Facebook group. Some of you have been more active than others. All of you will get more out of it if you do actually ask questions. Share what you've done. Tell them how great it's been. All of that really helps us for people to understand what the Accelerate program is and how they could benefit too for future, and just to be inspired, because they're all business people who have some interest in digital skills and have done our trainings before. We encourage you to keep accessing the portal, past recordings, new resources, and so on. I forget the exact date that we're going to keep that open till, but let's say end of October as well at this point, because as I know, some of you have already said you're a bit behind and life's got in the way, and it's completely understandable. But all those recordings are there. I made sure there was a couple of gaps, so I made sure they're all there this week. Do get into it. Work on items you didn't get to complete. And we would really, really, really love it if you could refer friends to Guts 8. So we're about to start on this Saturday, Get Up to Speed 8, and it's actually going to be our last one. So, there's the dates. It's on thetrainingcollective.com.au/guts if you want to refer anyone. There's a few reasons for it being the last one, which are a little bit sad about, but predominantly I've been offered a really great opportunity to go on the road and do speaking, and we'll be taking a lot of this content and wrapping it up and creating a new product. It's probably going to have Accelerate, the Guts, and a whole lot more thrown in there, maybe even some BYOs for like a super duper product. We'll be rolling that out in the new year, but this is the last time we'll offer Guts as it is. So if you know anyone that you think should do it, we'd really love you to refer them to us. Other ways you can keep learning with us, we are always running BYO laptop sessions, which Mary alluded to. She's been to a number of them. Some people say now, should I do the program or should I do the BYO laptops, or do I need to do both? Look, it really depends on your objectives. So for a broad overview and a specific objective like mobilizing a digital marketing campaign, we think that the Accelerate program is pretty awesome. If you want to delve deep dive, they say in Google, into a specific topic, and you like to do it hands-on, in person, and interactive throughout one intensive day, our BYO formats are for you. So we run sometimes half day actually. We've got one on Instagram coming up in Brisbane, for instance, but sometimes a full day. We actually have been running a 2-day intensive Facebook. So building on the skills you've learned on Accelerate, you can actually come in and learn all the elements of Facebook advertising and be handheld through each step of mobilizing your campaign with Zoe there, which is amazing. There's SEO sessions with Paul. There's WordPress and learning to code if you really want to get into that more and be more hands-on and not reliant on a developer. Have a look at actually, it should say thecreativecollective.com.au/events, thecreativecollective.com.au/events. That's where our most up-to-date list of all of our upcoming events is. And sometimes we have free stuff on there, like that Google event I told you about. So keep checking back on it. Make sure you're on our database as well. Lunchtime webinars, they're free. We're talking to some really exciting people who might be doing a little guest session with us soon. Gideon's actually one of them that you guys have already enjoyed, but our wider community haven't. Another one is Sarah Zimmerman, who I'm at a conference with from Beginning Boutique. She's got over 1 million in her social media community, and she's really good at influencer marketing, which I think is a very exciting and new area, and we want to explore that on a session, so watch out for that. Client training. If any of you work with clients or have a larger organization that could benefit from us coming in and doing a full day of LinkedIn or a full day of Facebook or whatever you want really, content strategy, any kind of digital skills, we would love to talk to you. Olivia in our office would love to hear from you on the email learn@thetrainingcollective.com.au. I'll write that out for you. If you would like to sit down with someone that just to talk about your business, just one-on-one, maybe a problem you've got, once you've had the mentors and that service is finished, you have got the option of a paid consult. We've got a range of consultants that we can hook you up with depending on where you are and what exactly you want. So get clear on that, like I really want to fix up my Facebook ads or set one up, or have someone look at my Google AdWords or whatever it is, and we'll put you with someone who can do that. And then the Creative Collective, my other company, can certainly provide services. So whether you need a website, you need some conversion tracking pixels set up, you want some help with Google Ads because you're going to do the other stuff, let us know what we can help with. We'd love dealing with our past participants. So that's all, guys. That is the last webinar for Accelerate. Thank you so much for choosing to be a part of this and being on the last session and just generally participating. We really have loved having you on the program and hope you got a lot out of it. You will be receiving a survey within days, which we want you to fill in. It's really important we get that feedback so we can know what we can do better next time. So thanks all. Hands up, any questions, further comments, or drop me a line on questions if you'd like to do a sign off or make any further questions or comments for us. Just a thanks, Yvette. Thank you, Brian. You're very welcome. Another thanks, Yvette, from Shannon. You're also welcome, Shannon. To all of you who might be listening to the recording too, I'll do a shout out to you. Congratulations on getting to the end of the program. Good on you for getting around to listening to this webinar. And same goes for you guys. Do your homework, send it in by those dates indicated, and make the most of the program. Well, thank you all. I shall sign off, and I'm going to follow where that beating music is and have a celebratory glass of champagne and toast you all around poolside in Noosa. And I've also become an Aussie citizen today, so I think that's worth celebrating too, don't you? Good night all. Stay in touch.